Why has stories been a part of human development for tens of thousands of years? So whether it was cave paintings, whether it was stories around a campfire, novels, into movies, and now just the sheer breadth of material being thrown at you in a modern world. I mean, my children are 12 and 11, and just what they have to watch, what they understand as story, the breadth of it is just incomparable to what I even grew up with. So stories have always been there. Now, we enjoy them. That's why they're so wonderful. We enjoy them, but actually they're doing many, many wonderful things. So we remember things more in story form. We relate to them much more on a human level and much better. We understand human choices more when they're put in a story. So actually all of these things are going on, but we're quite entertained. We have a nice time. So my kids have been through the years of the Pixar and Disney movies and all the sort of kids movies. And what Disney does better than anybody else is Frozen is an incredibly just enjoyable movie with a talking snowman in it. But actually what it's about, of course, is being different and dealing with difference and being yourself. These are the big lessons that kids learn from Frozen, but they don't come out at 6 years old knowing that at all. It's just implicitly placed in your brain now from then on. That's what wonderful movies do. I'm very much a movie person, but stories in all forms. Anytime we bring information to life. So I do a lot of sales training now, of course, coming from sales. But for leaders, anybody speaking to a group, presenting to a person, essentially trying to influence somebody, a story will be a huge tool in making that happen. Just think, how many slides are you going to remember? Not many. How much of the information are you going to come out of a meeting with citing to the next person you meet? Not much. But if they tell you a genuinely good story, you will be able to tell that on. Maybe not perfectly, maybe not as well as the first person did it, but they will have their own version of that story. Just like we can walk out of any movie and basically explain what happened, but also what we're explaining is what I took from this story. Here's the things that happened, but here's what I learned. So when a client, trying to get a client to influence another client, trying to get team members on board of an idea that they might not want to do, all of this is going to be better if we're able to place it in story and make it human, and for bosses sometimes, to be very honest, to speak authentically about where they're at. One of the phrases I use a lot, it is realistic optimism. So as a boss, when something's happening, and let's face it, we know people aren't going to like it. If we come into a room and go, hey, everybody, our targets have been raised 500%, or we're losing 10 people from the team, isn't that amazing? We'd just sound like an idiotic boss who's utterly disconnected from the real world. But if we also come in and go, oh my God, our targets are being raised 500%, well, that's it. We're screwed. We're never going to make this money. We're immediately just making failure happen. The team will go with that completely. What realistic optimism says is, I can see the challenges here. Like, I'm not blind to what's going on. I understand real life. I don't want our targets raised, but that's happening. So I've gone looking for opportunities here. That's my role as your leader. I've tried to look for some positives in what is obviously a very challenging situation. And I've thought of something from my life when this happened before. I'd like to tell you about it. And now if I put that in story form, it's showing that I'm still a real human. I've had this challenge before and it didn't all go perfectly, but now I'm a human dealing with a challenge along with them, rather than a senior person just saying, here's this horrible thing, get on and do it. So stories in any form, honestly, are genuinely valuable. But when they can be stories of, here's something that went wrong, here's a challenge I had, here's when I didn't get it right all the time. Those are not only useful just in what we remember, but they are humanizing and create trust of, great, Hywel's a real person too. He sees my problem. We maybe can do this better this time. So it would be stupid of me to come in and say, isn't this terrible? Our workplace is in trouble. But it would also be idiotic of me to come in and say, our workplace is changing. Everybody should think this is great. The moment we think that of people below us or around us, we are setting ourselves up for failure as a leader, but we're just setting them up to be thought of as the negative Nancy. And all they're doing is actually humanly saying, I'm a bit worried here. I'm worried about the future. Things are changing. I don't know how that's going to happen. But the moment we're scared to voice that, A, the change will go badly. B, that person will probably leave. But allowing people to voice their cynicism, here's why I'm worried. I see a problem here. Those people can actually be not only the reason for success of a change, but the best employees you've got, the ones willing to voice their challenges.